Just as we had already posited that we also have a speech from a member of parliament, we are glad to have him here. He holds a BSc from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, an MPhil Finance, MBA Finance, a certificate in financial markets at Yale University, United States of America, certificate in financial engineering and risk management, Columbia University, New York, USA, chartered financial economics. He's also holding PhD in financial economics from the University of the Witwatersrand. Witwatersrand. So that means it to be like a Dutch pronunciation, right? But in South Africa, exactly. He's held the position as a former president of the Brongahafo Students Union, that is BASU, former senior prefect for Bichim Presec, former Ashanti Regional Youth Organizer for the New Patriotic Party, former board member of the National Investment Bank, that is NIB, immediate past economic advisor and spokesperson for the vice president, Dr. Alhaj Mahmoud Baumia. Currently, as we speak, he is a spokesperson for Dr. Alhaj Mahmoud Baumia. He is also the member of parliament for Tano North constituency. He is well knowledgeable when it comes to economics. And I like his profound statement that he made on Newsfile. There's one thing knowing the facts and another way communicating it. And I think today he's going to communicate to us very well. Let's welcome Honorable Dr. Gideon Boako.
Thank you very much. Mr. MC, when I'm in front of my big guys, you don't elevate me to that level. At least I see Professor Pokumafu here. So when we meet the professors, let us hide somewhere. Thank you very much, and thank you, colleagues. I don't intend to speak much, honestly. And pardon me for coming in late. I had a few engagements in the constituency with the chiefs and some other groups at the hospital at Dion Quanta. So you can see I came with my chairman, my organizer, Osaitu is here, and no other constituency executives. So we are in the political mood. After elections, we need to go and thank people for showing us that grace. And I know, have seen my senior brother, lawyer Tina Yeboah, has spoken. And I know my own brother, doctor engineer. You seem to have been a past student of VITS. Okay, knowledge unzipped. Yeah, there are a couple of them here. I think there's one of my juniors, Dr. Omane Japan. I think the Maths of Finance Department. He's teaching here now. He was my junior at VITS also. We are scattered all over. Okay. And my own younger brother, Dr. Kwesinyami Befi. I'm sure he shared the story with you. He doesn't like sharing the story, but I'll find a way to share it. He's also here with us. So I don't have much to say. I'm supposed to talk about responsible leadership, integrity, good governance, and national development. But I think what is important for me is integrity. As for leadership, we are all in leadership. Whether you have one child, just a wife or a husband, or even if you're among friends, at any point in time, you're called to lead. Once you make decisions and it impacts people, you are a leader. But the most important thing, it's the integrity that comes with the leadership and the governance that we practice in our individual lives, at home, organizations, at school, at the ministry. The dean is here, the department, and all of that. The integrity that comes with it. And that is the main bane into our progress as a continent and also as a nation. Let me share this with you and decide with me on it whether or not it passes the integrity test. A few years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, at my church in Kumasi, Bremen Ebenezer Methodist Church, we had a young pastor there. And one day in delivering a sermon, he said that sometimes God punishes people to your advantage. And he said he went to a cement shop to buy cement. And the day he went, the money was not up to how much they were selling the cement for. So he agreed with them that he's going. It was Friday. Then the Monday he would come and then pay for the cement. So they had told him how much the cement was. So he went and prepared, thinking that by the time he comes back, it is the same price. Then on Monday, when he went back, the guy at the shop said the price had gone up over the weekend. And it's like, I just came here on Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you're telling me the price has gone up. So in his mind, the guy was trying to cheat him. If what the guy was thinking was true, then the guy does not have integrity. If it is not true, then it could be that he was telling him the truth, because we live in an inflationary country. The economist is here, so I don't want to sound too economist. Then he paid them. And the guy was supposed to give him a change. This is a pastor. I'm putting that in context. The guy was supposed to give him a change. And when the guy gave him the change, it was more than what he was supposed to give him. And he gave it to him. So So as a pastor, so we asked him, did you give out the money to us? So what? Medical fee. So the two of them, if indeed the guy was trying to cheat him, he has failed the integrity test. But what happens to the pastor? Has he also passed the integrity test? For me, I think no. You understand? But also, he thinks in his mind, this is what we live with in our everyday life. As I'm giving the example of the pastor, you are judging him. But cast your minds back. Also within yourself, at your department, where you were the boss at the office, at school, among your friends, some actions and decisions that you took that you know very well could not pass the integrity test. Every single day, every single hour, we are all subjected to the integrity test. As for leadership, we all think we are leaders. As for governance, we are all governing. Government is not limited to those politicians in government. No. Governance, everything you do that comes across with decisions, it's all governing. Between you and your wife, your children at home, among your friends, everything that you are doing is governance. And once you are making decisions for people, taking decisions with people, you are also leading. So whether you like it or not, governance and leadership, they are default. We are on in it every day. But as to whether the exercise of our leadership role and the process of us governing truly pass the integrity test is something that we must all think about. You see, sometimes we believe in ourselves so much, and we believe in things that we believe in so much, so that we think that should be the norm for people. And in so doing, we fail the integrity test in many respects, because we close our eyes to the other side, their feelings, their personal beliefs, and we think that what we want is what must happen. That is not leadership with integrity. The leadership with integrity should be able to assess the other party's side what the decision that we are taking can present to them. A few years ago, something happened in my own personal life. And I tried to do something for my own daughter. It's about a 5-year-old child, but of course, a child that has lived in the US, so very assertive and very blunt with issues. What I was doing, I thought I was saving her, doing something to benefit her, but she spoke a word to me and I was shocked. She said, "Daddy, why are you being so mean?" And I'm like, "What do you mean by being mean?" I said, "You're being mean. This is a decision I felt I was taking for my daughter." But in her mind, I was mean to her and other people because she felt that what I was doing, however right it was for her, didn't take other people's feelings into consideration. And it struck me, so I had to stay back, and I reflected upon it for a few seconds, and I stopped what I was doing, whether good for her or bad, just to ensure that by stopping, it doesn't lead her, it doesn't harm her or anything. But you see, if you are not sensitive to people's plight and people's beliefs, thinking, you go ahead, "Oh, I'm the father, go ahead to do that." You are acting out of integrity. You're taking decisions that are not balanced. Any leader with integrity would have to take balanced decisions at any point in time, depending on the information available to him. The lawyers will tell you that information is so critical. So people take decisions, you can judge them. But if they don't have the fullness of information, your judgment may not be right. And that is why they say neither recrimination nor congratulation is warranted for a decision taken based on information available at the time. And that the appropriateness of a decision can be judged based on the totality of the information available at the time the decision was made. So before you take any decision as a leader, you need to dig deeper to ensure whether or not you have exhausted all the relevant information available for you to take that decision. Other than that, for me, you're not passing the integrity test. Because other than that, you are taking decisions that is so subjective, and decisions that you think, once they are benefiting you, all other things must be put on hold. I'm stressing these core values because they are the problems that we encounter every day, but we don't pay attention to them. And that is why you find a very good leader in the eyes of the public. The person appears on TV, he speaks so well, he's well presented, he dresses so well, so the public love him. But go to his office and ask the people who are in the office with him. The judgment they will pass will be completely different because they experience him on a daily basis, each hour, and they judge him, his leadership style, based on decisions that he takes. When he appears on TV or on radio, he's a fine gentleman. And he communicates, this guy is so nice. Oh, your background, there you see the true colors. So, we are all young people here. We need to ensure that we take balanced decisions. We belong to different religions. But why are we forcing our religion on the others? Some 15 years ago, in 2010, I was lucky, and my good brother from Kumasi is here. He knows those days. I was lucky to have been selected among some 25 young global leaders to be trained at the International Academy for Leadership in Germany for 2 years, from 2010 to 2011. And I got an opportunity at that time with Angela Merkel and all of that in Cologne. And my eyes opened that day. In Ghana, every meeting you start, let's pray. Every food we get, let's pray. So, a Ghanaian West African guy, that was my first time I went to Germany. We started the session and I raised up my hand and said, please, we pray. And there was this lady from Israel, a Jewish lady. And then she asks, in whose belief are you going to pray? Then there was another lady from Russia, Disa. And she said, Gideon, really? You know all of us where we are coming from? In whose name are you going to pray? And I said, in the name of Jesus Christ. Then the Jewish lady from Israel flared up. The words the lady used on me, I had no idea. I'd heard the Jews don't believe in Jesus Christ. That was when I realized that I had made the biggest mistake in my life. For 1 week, the lady would never talk to me because I had suggested that we should pray using Jesus Christ. You see, here in our country, there are bosses who think that once you come to their organization, whether you take it or not, every morning, if they are speaking tongues, you must what? Speak tongues. If they are praying at the mosque, you must pray at the mosque. You see, we must begin to appreciate leadership that believe in diversity. It's so important. So that we open up to people and let people feel free to practice their religion and not force people. And it's happening in most of our organizations. It's a fine gentleman, a fine leader, a fine boss. But some of his decisions are so inhibiting to other people's progress. Yet these are the people we worship in societies and all of that. And then they leave and go and somebody says, no, you know what is happening at Wesley Girls with Islamic students and Christian students? You may think this should not happen, but it is happening at a prestigious institution in this country. You saw what happened to Maguire. Is that the name? The young guy who was going to Achimota School. This is Ghana. This is Achimota School. But for the voices of civil society and a lot of Ghanaian people, he was going to be discriminated against. Not to have the chance to go to Achimota School. Because of what? Something that is not criminalized. And don't make a mistake. LGBT is against the law in this country. So by law, it doesn't work. Is that not it? So don't think otherwise. But having dreadlocks is not criminalized in the country. So insofar as the thing is not against the laws of the land, why are you using the leadership power, the role that you have, to inhibit people? But you and I, we are guilty of that. We're taking decisions, take the decisions in straight line. No allowance for anything to what? To come in. So it's something that we must pay attention to. There are other stuff, but I'm sure my colleagues may have talked about them, so I don't want to belabor them. Ethical leadership. Ethical leadership and good governance are rooted in integrity. So I say that leadership must be driven not just by courage, honesty, and also commitment to fairness. If you're a leader and you're not fair, you are not a leader. I am guilty, you are guilty. We are just not fair to people. Even promotions, we are not fair in making sure people are promoted. We are lecturers. We are not fair even in the award of marks. We are not fair. But we are the leaders. Obeshe, Professor Moa, you know, I was a university lecturer. Dr. Bafi now is at Jimpa. We are all here. To get promoted, you can apply for senior lectureship, also prof, and somebody will put your application documents somewhere. Yes. And so it is common. Ghana, how much that yes, yeah, there. You promote that. Now they think between the 18 years, a PhD, 18 years. Are they were born? And so 18 years, meaning we were Ghana ha or any PhD for 18 solid years. Dr. Bafi is here. He finished first degree at the University of Buckingham. He didn't do his master's, but he was given a PhD. Right from first degree, he was promoted to do PhD. And he's finished his PhD. Quick, he is gone. Does it take away the knowledge from him? This is Buckingham University. First degree straight away to PhD. He did first degree, he had first class, he was the overall best economic student at the entire University of Buckingham. So somebody like this, why should you delay his progress? That was how come the vice president invited him to come and work with him. On that day, the vice president, Baumia, was there because Baumia also schooled at Buckingham. And he had first class in economics, and he was the overall best student at Buckingham at the time. So luckily for him, the day we went and they awarded him as overall best, Baumia said, I was sitting just by the vice president. Gideon, this guy, he had the same grade, the same award I had here. Let's talk to him if he wants to come and work with us. Let him come. So we finished lunchtime. The vice president asked him, do you want to work with me? And he said, that is my dream. So quickly, Baumia invited him to come to Ghana. Okay? But in this country, lalai, who we first degree, ne catch us straight, by PhD. It will not happen. It will not happen. And the same thing happened to me when I finished my master's at KNUST. Those of you had heard Professor Joshua Abo talk about the story. The external examiner, who was not a KNUST lecturer from Legon, said that no, this guy, we have to convert the master's into PhD for him. They wrote that in the examiner's report. He went to the vice chancellor. They invited me, had several meetings. But skimping, some lecturer said, no way. How can he finish PhD, a master's, and we say we have converted the master's to PhD for him? They didn't agree. That is how come Joshua Abo, Professor Abo, took the pains to get me a scholarship to go and do my PhD and come. And when I went, I finished my PhD in a record time. And the university did not say that because all others are taking 4 years, 5 years to finish PhD. I became the fastest PhD student in Africa, and they awarded the degree to me. They didn't hide it. They awarded it. Ghana here, they won't give it to you. They will tell you, you have finished too quick. When I finished my PhD, it took 2 more years, 3 or so, for the next person in my class to finish the PhD. In South Africa, I was the only person who graduated that year. The only person who graduated from PhD Economics and Finance at my school. And it took 2 more years for my classmates, the next person to finish. But they didn't say, well, we intend to do it transfer. But here, they will do it. You are due for promotion as a lecturer. They will sit on your promotion. That is not leadership with integrity. And you see, when we do that, we deprive so many people from where they are supposed to get to. By now, Ebianka Kwesibe, if you're afraid I was starting PhD. Because afraid I can be all in the masters, a Juma ni ho, a copper, Juma Kakra, no one yes Kakra, no Asadia, and no Kwautia, a PhD on bed delays, but the University of Buckingham cut it off for him. Those of you who have read about this Indian guy called Cheetah, University of Harvard. And also we in the first degree, straight away 1.5 years, Harvard University gave him PhD at a very young age. And interestingly, his father had been an economics professor for 20 years and had never published in the American Review of Economics, the topmost journal in economics. But that guy finished his PhD, and in 1.5 years, he published 5 papers in the American Economic Review. 1.5 years. His father has been 20 years. He couldn't do it. Such a person, okay, say, oh, delay is so colleagues, I'm telling you all this so that we become sensitive to people and people around us. We are sitting here, we are sitting on people's promotion. We are sitting on people's progress. at school, at our workplaces, and we are telling them that we can decide whether or not they will be what? They will be promoted. And still, we want to think we are good leaders. That is the biggest problem we have in this country. So I want all of us to reflect on this. We don't have time to go deeper into some of these things. But we should reflect and see how best we can improve upon the problems that we have. I am guilty, you are also guilty. And how we can ensure transparency in everything that we do. Because if we give people a chance, they will rise. Look, it will be so, excuse my language, foolish on anybody's part to think that a child who is not yet born can be born today, rise up to become a better person than you in the future. A lot of the time we think that it should be us. And we must go before those behind us what? Come. It doesn't work like that. And if you're a leader, you must come down to listen to people. 3 days ago, I had to do a presentation in Parliament. And before, was it a day before or the day? Yeah, the day before, I was scrolling through social media and I saw Dr. Kwesi Nyame had written something, done some debt analysis on social media. So I quickly called him and I said, hey, bro, I've seen the thing you have written on Facebook. This one I don't understand. This one I don't understand. Even when he explained to me, I called you back again. Is that not it? The next day, when I was sitting in the chamber, I was about to use the data, but I didn't capture exactly what he was trying to mean. And I said, this one, are you sure you're not wrong? He said, no, let's go through the calculations. And then he walked me through the calculations, and I got it. I presented it in Parliament and all over social media. People say, hey, why are there? And yes, I know Biaka. But you don't know where I got the idea from. It's him. It's him. You see, I am older than him. I finished school before him. He came to work under me in the office of the vice president. But that does not mean I should be all-knowing. Or if he has something superior, I should not yield to it. It's not like copying what he wrote and using it. I had to let him know I'm going to use your material. Even when I didn't understand something, I had to call him the second time for confirmation. That is what good leaders do. Don't let your subordinates feel that because they are your subordinates, you are super knowledge and angry side, all knowing. No, no one is a repository of knowledge. And when you do that, you carry people along. And it makes you a better person. Because whatever I presented on the floor of Parliament, that is generating applause and people are thanking him. No thanks go to him. Nobody even knows where I got my knowledge and ideas from. But you see, if you're a good leader and you listen to people, you take people's opinion to help you, you become the icon. And those who are helping you, like the people in the restaurant, in the kitchen, they cook the food. The waitress serves it. And you give the waitress a tip. Is that not it? So I'm taking all the tips on TikTok and social media, and he is hungry. You understand? So please, I want us to develop as young people as you move forward. Come down where you have to come down. Rise up where you have to rise up. Listen to people. Be transparent and carry people along. At the end of the day, if you are a big person and you don't have followers, not followers who are following because of what they will get from you. They are following you because they think you're a leader that carries them along and that can also help them to rise genuinely. I think on this note, I'll leave it here. I'm told there's a roundtable discussion and then we'll continue. Thank you very much and God bless you.